Be still and trust. I am here, not as a thought you must hold together, not as a task you must complete, but as a presence that holds you. Be still, not because the world is quiet, but because I am larger than its noise. Trust, not because outcomes report good news on your schedule, but because my goodness is not on trial. Sit with me, and let this hour learn a different gravity. Stillness is not idleness, it is alignment. You have been taught that hurry proves devotion, that motion protects meaning, but the winds obeyed a voice, not a schedule. I am that voice. Let me lead you by a cadence older than your calendar. The heart that rests in me walks farther without fracture. Be still, and you will discover that trust is not a mood you chase but a decision you keep. I know the tremor beneath your routines. You have learned to brace in the doorway of each day, to scan for danger like a lighthouse searching for storms. Give me the watch. I see farther than your vigilance. And I do not blink. I do not sleep. What you call hypervigilance is a body remembering weather. I will teach your inner sky new patterns. Be still, and let me redraw the forecast. Be still when accusation assembles its witnesses. Let truth take the stand. I will surface the details your fear forgets, the apologies you offered, the patience you practiced, the quiet rescues no one recorded. Trust me to defend you where your voice cannot reach. Be still enough to hear vindication arriving softly like morning, sure, sufficient, and steady. You have been asked by loud rooms to pick a side quickly, to react before you have time to remember who you are. Be still first. Stillness is the room where wisdom dresses for the day. From there, you will speak words that carry both clarity and kindness. From there, you will step where love can keep up with you. Those who move from panic spill people. Those who move from presence carry them. Be still when you count what seems not enough. You hold loaves and honest fish and the arithmetic of scarcity. Hand them to me. I am not offended by small beginnings. I am honored by open hands. Sit the people down, in your mind, in your schedule, in your motives. Order makes room for miracles. Trust does not manufacture supply. Trust sees me multiply what seems certain to fail. Be still when you pray and your syllables feel thin. I know the sentence you cannot finish. Sigh if you must. I am fluent in breaths. I hear the ache of intention and the music inside your murmur. Trust that prayer is not audition. It is audience with the one who already knows and still loves to listen. Be still when your past rattles its chains. Your history is loud at night. I am louder, without raising my voice. Bring me the reel that replays. We will watch it together until shame's commentary grows bored and leaves the room. Trust that I am not asking you to ignore what hurt. I am offering to narrate it with truth and tenderness until it loses the power to name you. Be still when you attempted to convert every silence into a search for answers. Some silences are surgery. I am removing what cannot live in you without stealing your joy. Trust the instruments you cannot see. Trust the hands that hold them. You will wake lighter and wonder why you carried so much for so long. Be still when the door does not open. Not all closed doors are rejections. Some are redirections I crafted with care. Stand with me in the hallway. I have placed benches here and lamps that know your face. Trust that timing is a language of love. I speak it fluently even when you do not. I am training your nervous system in the theology you confess. Theology says I am good. Breath says I am safe. Be still long enough for these to agree. Place a hand over your chest. Inhale slowly. Exhale longer than you inhaled. Whisper, you are here. Again, you are Lord. Again, I belong. Trust grows when bodies are taught what souls proclaim. Be still when grief arrives with the decency to knock. Open the door. I will sit with you. We will speak names without fearing their echoes. We will cry without apology. We will let sorrow be sorrow without letting it decide your future. Trust that resurrection is not an idea. It is a person who keeps company with tears and sets tables in the shadow of tombs. Be still when you work. That sounds like contradiction, but it is craft. Work from rest, not for it. Offer your hours as worship. Invite me to share your desk, your route, your tools. Trust that meaning hides in the ordinary when you carry my name with integrity. Excellence under my hand is gratitude expressed through care, not anxiety dressed as diligence. Be still when you lead. Leadership without stillness becomes noise. I will train your voice to be gentle and strong, a climate more than a gust. You will not herd with hurry. You will shepherd with presence. Trust that authority looks like service under my kingdom, and that stature without stillness is a scaffolding with loose bolts. Be still when you love someone who does not know how to stop running. You cannot anchor a ship with your bare hands. You can become a lighthouse, a faithful point of reference that outlasts storms. Trust me with their journey while you remain a steady mercy on the horizon. Be still when your body asks for sleep. Sleep is not laziness. It is liturgy. It confesses that the world is kept by another. Trust the rhythm. Lay down your tools. Bless the unfinished task. Receive quiet as a sacrament. Rest does not delay destiny. It delivers you to it whole. Be still when you must speak truth into tension. I will give you sentences that do not burn what you mean to bless. I will time them so that they land like rain instead of strike like hail. Trust that love and honesty are not enemies, under my hand. They are teammates who know how to win without war. Be still, too, when joy shows up without an appointment. Laugh without asking sorrow for consent. Not all laughter is disrespect. Much of it is faith. It says, we survived. It says, we will thrive. Trust joy's medicine. It will strengthen the muscle you use to say yes to good gifts without gripping them like gods. Be still, and bless your space. Touch the doorway and speak peace. Touch the table and speak provision. Touch the bed and speak rest. Touch your own face and speak kindness. Trust that words shape atmosphere. That blessing trains eyes to notice grace. That your home can become a refuge because I am a resident, not a guest. Be still when anxiety shouts what if. Answer with even if the news is hard. I am held. Even if the calendar shifts, I am guided. Even if the forecast is wrong, I am accompanied. Trust is not denial. It is defiance of despair. Speak it, hear it, let it build a shelter around your mind. Be still when comparison knocks with a list of other people's applause. I am not grading you on someone else's assignment. Your obedience is not late because their highlight is loud. Trust that hidden faithfulness is the quiet infrastructure of miracles. You will not be measured by visibility in my house, but by love. Be still, and remember where I met you last time you thought the story would end badly. Remember the provision that arrived disguised as an ordinary day. Remember the friend who called at the minute you believed you were alone. Trust the rehearsal of goodness. It trains your hopes to recognize my handwriting. Be still when you are learning a new boundary. Boundaries are doors with locks, not walls without exits. Install them without apology. Trust that people who love your wholeness will thank you, and that people who love your availability more than your health will learn or leave. Either way, peace will enter by the door you guard. Be still when you do not know what to pray for a world on fire. Say a short prayer in a human voice. Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Spirit, lead us. Trust that simple honesty carries farther than elaborate speeches. I am not moved by eloquence. I am moved by hearts that turn. Be still when you open scripture. Do not race the page. Let a phrase kindle. Hold it. Carry it like a lantern through the hour. Trust that small portions feed better than hurried banquets when your soul is thin. My word is living bread. Chew slowly and you will be nourished. Be still, and let generosity unclench your hands. Give without keeping footnotes on your giving. Give because you are a river, not a reservoir. Trust that I am your source. Scarcity is a rumor. Do not repeat it. Plenty is a person. Stay near me and watch how enough learns your address. Be still and notice creation. The tree that has time to be a tree. The bird that sings without an audition. The river that rounds the rock without a fight. The sky that changes without a committee. Trust the sermon creation is preaching. I am the maker. And you are beloved in what I made. Be still when you face what wounded you before. We will go together, to the office, the ward, the courtroom, the porch, the inbox. I will not make you brave by shoving you. I will make you brave by standing with you. Trust the pace. Trust the pauses. Trust that healing can revisit old addresses and deliver new mail. Be still when you wonder about calling. Calling is less a map than a meal. It is eaten daily. Not read once. Do the next faithful thing in love. I will turn that steady practice into a path. Trust me to make introductions you cannot manufacture and to close doors you are too polite to refuse. Be still, child, when you fear the future. You do not need omniscience to obey. You need affection and attention. Give me those, and I will give you wisdom for the next step. Trust that light is issued by the hour, not the year, and that this is kindness, not control. The horizon is mine, the ground under your foot is yours. Walk it with me. If this whisper is steadying your heart and you want it to reach others who need this reminder, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so that this message can travel further to the ones waiting for it. Thank you for opening a path for peace to find them. Be still again. Noise will return. So will I. You will forget. I will remind. Make a chair holy by repeated meetings with me. Make a corner sacred by letting it hold your size. Trust the habit of small altars. Great strength grows in ordinary places where love is expected to arrive on time, and does. Be still when leadership disappoints you. I am not confused by headlines. I am not limited by seasons. Pray with humility and act with integrity. Trust me to measure a life by hidden weights, truth told without theater. Service offered without spectacle, courage practiced without contempt. Be still when you are misunderstood. I will tend your reputation like a garden in the early hours. You need not chase rumors. You need only to walk rightly. Trust the slow vindication of consistency. It lasts longer than applause and speaks louder than defense. Be still when you are tempted to rehearse catastrophe. Fear will give you scripts. I will give you breath. Choose breath. Inhale, I am with you. Exhale, I will not leave. Train your imagination to picture me in the room that worries you, already there. Adjusting the light. Arranging a chair. Preparing favor like bread still warm. Be still when you feel behind. Behind is a sentence written by clocks that think they are gods. They are not. I am Lord over time. I redeem hours, multiply years, restore what locusts ate in a different field. Trust that I can bring harvest out of a season you thought was barren because I hid seed in places you were too tired to look. Be still when you must forgive. Forgiveness is not amnesia or permission. It is agreeing with freedom. Set them down where you set your burdens down. Trust me to be justice without making you a prisoner of rage. Leave room for boundaries. Leave room for miracles. Leave room for me. Be still when you celebrate. Receive the gift without interrogating it. Bless the giver. Bless the timing. Bless your own capacity to enjoy without clenching. Trust that joy does not make you careless. It makes you strong. The joy of the Lord is strength, not exemption from sorrow. strength in the midst of it. Be still when night stretches and sleep hesitates. Sit, light a candle if you can, or light the candle of your breath. Name 3 mercies, release 3 worries. Pray the prayer I taught, Our Father, and let its familiar words carry you like a boat across dark water. Trust that the shore is closer than it looks when you stop paddling panic. Be still when you parent or mentor. Children learn your pace more than your paragraphs. Let them see you rest without shame. Apologize without ceremony. Pray without performance. Laugh without a camera. Trust that these will catechize their hearts into a faith that survives weather. Be still in your craft. Do not rush the line, the paragraph, the chord, the code. Invite me to enjoy the making with you. Trust that process is a teacher you cannot hire and that beauty is a patient guest. It arrives where welcome is warm and time is honored. Be still when your prayer is only a name. Speak it. I know why you chose that name. And I know the story you did not add. I will receive the name like an offering and return it as peace. Trust that intercession often sounds like breath and looks like being present where you cannot fix anything but can still love. Be still as you bless enemies. Place hot coals of kindness with care. Step back. Pray for their good, not their glory. Trust that kindness under authority burns cleaner than anger under pride. You will sleep better. You will think clearer. You will live lighter. Be still when your body ages. Old speed is not the only speed that counts. Walk at the pace of wisdom. Sit at the pace of remembrance. Laugh at the pace of grandchildren. Trust that ripened souls give the sweetest counsel and that honor is the crown of the gray head in my sight. Be still when you are single or alone. Solitude is not the same as isolation. I keep watch with you. Learn the hospitality of setting an extra place at your table in prayer. Invite me to sit. Trust that companionship arrives in many shapes. A neighbor's hello. A friend's text. A good book. A song that feels like someone stayed. Be still when you are married or partnered. Love grows in unhurried ground. Put the phone away. Look in their eyes. Say the ordinary mercies out loud. Thank you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I missed you. I'm proud of you. Trust that covenant is built of such bricks and that your home becomes a sermon others can rest in. Be still when you serve the poor. Do not schedule compassion so tightly that it cannot breathe. Leave margin for interruptions disguised as people. Learn names. Kneel when you can. Trust that heaven recognizes greatness by towels, not thrones. Be still when money speaks too loudly. Tell it to whisper. It is a tool, not a master. Make a budget that tells a story of generosity and contentment, not of fear and vanity. Trust that I clothe lilies and count sparrows and that you are of more value than both. Be still in the city. Streets are sanctuaries when prayed over. Crosswalks can carry blessing. Intersections can be altars. Trust that your quiet intercession is an invisible architecture strengthening the places you pass. Be still in the countryside. Listen to the sermon preached by wind and seasons. Take your place among creatures who obey without anxiety. Trust that your soul can learn from grasses and stars what lectures forgot to teach, wonder that leads to worship. Be still at the end of the day. Speak a benediction over the rooms. Peace to this table, rest to these beds, joy to this roof, laughter to this hallway, mercy to our memories. Trust that words said in faith are not wasted breath. They are seeds for tomorrow. Be still in the morning. Put your feet on the floor and speak a doxology before a headline. Praise before problem, presence before plan. Trust that when you begin with me, you notice me more easily later. I am not hard to find. I am simply often last in line. Name me first. Watch everything find its place. Be still when storms threaten. Learn the difference between urgent and loud. Not all loud things are urgent. And not all urgent things are loud. Listen for my whisper under the wind. Trust it more than thunder. Thunder impresses, whispers lead. Be still, and let me bless you. May your breath agree with peace. May your eyes practice kindness. May your hands remember gentleness. May your steps find the next faithful thing. May your home carry warmth. May your work carry meaning. May your rest carry trust. I am with you. I will be with you. I have always been with you. And when you forget again, as all do, return. I am not crossing my arms. I am opening my hands. Be still and trust. We will begin again as many times as it takes until beginning no longer feels like failure but like faith. Be still where shame once sat like a judge in your chest. I have vacated that seat. In its place, I have put a chair for wisdom and a window for light. Open the window when morning arrives. Invite in what is fresh. Trust that stale air is not loyalty. It is simply air that forgot to move. Let me move through you with mercy. Practice the liturgy of thresholds. Pause at doorways, in and out. On the way in, say, "Here I am." On the way out, say, "You are with me." Thresholds confess that life is lived between. Trust that I am Lord of the between spaces. That I bless beginnings and endings and all their corridors. Be still when technology trains you to startle for every ping. Curate what may interrupt your breath. Choose hours when your attention is a garden with a gate, not a field without fences. Trust that depth returns when you protect it and that your soul grows taller when it is not bent by constant alerts. Be still as you read news. Grieve truly, pray honestly, act locally where love has a face you can touch. Trust that despair is not prophetic. It is merely loud. Hope is the ancient language that rebuilt cities from rubble and hearts from ash. Speak it without theatrics. It knows the way home. Be still in apology. Say I was wrong without decorations. Say please forgive me without bargaining. Say I will repair what I can without delay. Trust that humility is not humiliation and that honor returns to homes where contrition leads the way. Be still as you plan. Pencils are wise. Pens are proud. Write lightly. Pray deeply. Hold loosely. Trust that I will nudge you toward people and places where love wants to land. If I erase, it is to spare you a chapter that would have injured your joy. Be still in wonder. Wonder keeps cynicism on a diet. It starves the sarcasm that pretends to be smart. Walk out and count 3 beautiful things. Name them like a child. Trust that such naming protects the heart and keeps it soft enough to feel the weight of glory without breaking. Be still with elders. Their stories are libraries. Sit long enough for the slow chapters. Ask the question that keeps them talking, "What kept you?" and listen for me in the pauses. Trust that honor is a medicine your generation needs and that gratitude lengthens the lives of those who receive it. Be still with children. Sit on the floor. Let knees and laugh lines share the moment. Answer their questions briefly and bless their curiosity. Trust that the kingdom belongs to such as these and that your own faith grows younger, not shallower. In their company. Be still in conflict. Locate the wound beneath the words. Ask me for timing and tone. Choose repair over victory. Trust that you will not lose yourself by listening and that the truth, spoken gently, can travel farther than a shout thrown hard. Be still with your craft on days when vision is thin. Sharpen a pencil. Sweep the studio. Tune the instrument. Clean the keys. Prepare the space as an act of trust. Do not force brilliance. Invite it. Trust that inspiration is a faithful guest in homes kept ready by humility. Be still by water when you can. Rivers recite how to move without panic. Lakes preach contentment. Oceans teach reverence. Let their psalms retune your inner music. Trust that creation is a choir and that you have a part even when you do not sing out loud. Be still when old fears try on new costumes. Ask their names. You will recognize the voice. Answer with the name I gave you, beloved, and the name you gave me, faithful. Trust that identity is armor that fits without bruising. Be still as you bless your enemies in secret. My Father sees in secret. What you sow there grows roots others cannot pull. Trust that such roots stabilize your joy and that your face will look more at peace than your critics expect. Be still when art, music, and story heal you without permission slips. Receive their medicine. I coded beauty to carry balm. Trust that enjoyment is not a sin to be repented, but a gift to be stewarded with gratitude. Be still as you age past certain dreams. Some dreams must be planted to feed others. Release them with ceremony, not with cynicism. Trust that I do not waste desire. I redirect it to bless more than you imagined when you first prayed. Be still on birthdays and anniversaries and the unnamed days when memory knocks. Mark them with blessing. Light something, bake something, speak something. Trust that celebration is the spine of gratitude and that grateful people resist despair better than most strategies. Be still and let laughter return to rooms where apology already worked. Laughter after reconciliation is a miracle worth keeping track of. Trust that joy does not trivialize pain. It testifies to healing. Be still and let silence host you without hurrying you toward a lesson. Not every quiet needs an outcome. Some quiet is rest visiting. Trust that you are more than your usefulness and that I enjoy you without a reason you can itemize. Be still at the cross. Look again. See how love stayed when power could have left. See how mercy spoke when rage was cheap. See how forgiveness began before repentance learned its words. Trust that this is your template for strength and your assurance that you are kept. Be still. Beloved, may your nights be guarded and your mornings gentle. May your pace agree with peace and your plans submit to wisdom. May your thresholds remember blessing and your table remember laughter. Trust that I am not far. And when you say my name, know that I have already said yours with joy. Be still when you teach. Teach from overflow, not from fumes. Pause long enough to let eyes meet yours. Ask one question that invites souls to come forward. Trust that information carried by kindness becomes wisdom. And wisdom lasts longer than tests. Be still when you are the student. Sit where you can hear, not where you can be seen. Take notes as if you are gathering seeds. Trust that some lessons sprout later, in a different season, when rain comes without your scheduling it. Be still when opportunities arrive all at once. Not every good is yours to carry. Lay choices on the table. Weigh them with love, with counsel, with pace. Trust that decline can be devotion when acceptance would compromise your design. Be still when opportunity seems absent. Boredom can be a building site. Faithfulness can be a blueprint. Obedience can be the labor. Trust that I see in secret and pay in peace before I pay in platforms. Be still when holidays magnify absence. Set a chair for memory. Speak a blessing. Laugh because they laughed and cry because you loved. Trust that grief is allowed at my feasts and that joy is not offended when tears sit at the table. Be still when you attempted to speak for me with certainty I did not give. Humility is a clearer sound than bravado. Say what you know. Confess what you do not. Point to me. Trust that honesty is a sanctuary for seekers and that I do not need theatrics to be believed. Be still when your schedule gets rewritten by interruption. Some interruptions are angels with unannounced agendas. Some are simple needs asking for simple help. Trust that love is often late to less important things. Be still when you confess. Do not negotiate. Do not sprinkle your truth with excuses. Say the sentence that frees the soul. Trust that forgiveness runs faster than accusation and that I greet prodigals without clipboards. Be still when you celebrate others. Clap without calculating. Bless without bargaining. Lift without losing. Trust that honor multiplies your joy instead of subtracting value from your story. Be still in your neighborhood. Learn the names of dogs and mail carriers, the cadence of school bells and trash trucks. Pray for the houses by address like a watchman who loves. Trust that such ordinary intercession keeps darkness from feeling at home. Be still when the weather turns. Let rain justify a slower reading. Snow permit a quiet day. Heat demand water and shade. Trust your body to be the clock that learns seasons, not the slave of constant productivity. Be still when you must say goodbye. Farewells are holy. Bless what was. Release what must be. Trust that endings are not emptiness. They are a doorway that knows your name and leads to rooms grace already aired out. Be still when you cannot find your words. Write a single line. Draw a single shape. Hum a single note. Stack small bricks. Trust the wall to rise in time. Be still when prayer looks like listening. Silence is not neglect. It is hospitality. Host my voice. Set the table of your attention. Trust that I will speak. And when I do not rush to leave the room. Be still when tempers rise around you. Your calm is not passivity. It is presence choosing not to be recruited by rage. Count to mercy. Breathe to grace. Trust that a gentle answer does not mean compromise. It means strength standing with a soft voice. Be still and let me name you again. Beloved, kept, taught, sent. These names will survive every season. Trust that when other labels peel, mine remain, weatherproof and time-tested. Be still and practice a small Sabbath each day. 5 minutes of nothing but me. Put down the utensil, the mouse, the pen. Turn your chair toward a window. Say nothing if you like. Trust that 5 minutes of real presence recalibrates hours of noise. Be still and remember the poor in spirit, the meek, the mourners, the hungry for righteousness, the merciful, the pure in heart, the peacemakers, the persecuted. Bless them by name when you can. Trust that the kingdom moves slower and deeper than headlines and that your blessing joins a chorus that will outlast empires. Be still and bless the work of your hands. Name what those hands have built, carried, comforted, created, repaired. Offer them back to me. Trust that I receive the history of your hands and return it as strength for the next faithful task. Be still and bless your feet for staying. They stood in lines. They walked hospital corridors. They climbed stairs with laundry and hope. They danced at weddings and made quiet exits from rooms that lost their peace. Trust that your feet know the way to me. They have walked it more times than you remember. Be still and let hope be small and pure. Hope that fits in a pocket can still move mountains because it invites me to hold the mountain while you hold my hand. Trust that giant hope grows from pocket hope tended daily. Be still and let me end what must end gently. Some habits need funerals. Some narratives need eulogies that tell the truth and then let the story rest. Trust that burial is not bitter when resurrection is your friend. Be still and practice blessing your enemies' names without adding commentary. Let the blessing be unadorned. Trust me to sort outcomes. Your heart will learn freedom faster when your tongue learns restraint. Be still and keep humor holy. Laugh at your own hurry. Smile at the way your plans pretend to be sovereign. Trust that levity does not diminish reverence. It can escort it. Be still and keep promises small enough to keep. Large vows collapse under their own drama. Small promises repeat and build cathedrals. Trust the slow architecture of faithfulness. Be still and ask for wisdom not only in the crisis but in the calm. Wisdom gathered in peace becomes a reserve you can draw from when alarms sound. Trust that I enjoy preparing you, not just rescuing you. Be still and let your yes be yes, your no be no. Let clarity be kind. Trust that truth without theater is a gift people remember with gratitude. Be still and drink water. This 2. Is a spiritual act when done with gratitude. Trust that your body is part of your discipleship, a partner in prayer, a temple worth care. Be still and place your devices face down in honor of the face in front of you. Trust that attention is love with skin on. Be still and forgive yourself for learning slowly. I am not impatient. I prefer deep roots to fast leaves. Trust that the pace of heaven is precise and kind. Be still, beloved. Look back only long enough to say thank you and to learn. Look forward only far enough to say lead me. Look around long enough to say here I am. Trust that I am here. And this is enough.